Hi guys and welcome to the Flying Olive. Today I'm going to show you one of my favourite recipes and something that really gets me in the mood for autumn, which is now. Summer went quick, didn't it? But yeah, so I'm going to be using this bad boy, a pumpkin. Yes, it is that time of year. Yes, they are ripe. Yes, I got it for dead cheap because it's still September. But I'm going to make a pumpkin pie. I absolutely love these. They're an amazing sweet treat. They're a little bit different from your traditional sort of pies and cakes and tarts. I know they're really popular in the US. They're a little less popular in the UK, but I really hope that they get brought back into the UK because they're just so delicious, really good. So let's get down to it. Okay, so I'm going to start by preparing the pumpkin. Here I've chopped one whole pumpkin with the help of my housemate into sort of chunks about this size. And I'm going to put them onto several baking trays and cover them in loads of delicious stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put several of these pieces of pumpkin onto a tray. You don't have to take the skin off, we'll do that later. Okay, so once we've done that, some golden syrup. There is no way to do this without getting it messy everywhere, so... Okay, so just sort of pour the golden syrup all over everything. The more you put on, the sweeter your pie will be, so I'm going to put loads on. Honey works well as well, but golden syrup is just a little bit better, I guess. This stuff is just pure gold happiness, so I'm happy to cover everything in it. Once you've done that, I'm going to add some cinnamon, accidentally, whoops, and some ground ginger. I would normally add nutmeg, and if you've got some, I highly recommend it. The only reason I'm not putting some on is because it wasn't on my shopping list and I forgot it. So that is literally the only reason. Otherwise, I would definitely use nutmeg as well. So once this has all been prepared like this with your nutmeg, I'm going to cover it in tin foil and pop it in the oven at 200 degrees until it's all really soft and oozy and gooey and lovely. So that should take about 40 minutes. Thank you! Okay, so the next thing to deal with is the pastry. You can use pre-made, sort of pre-rolled pastry from a shop, but if you want to make your own sweet pastry, I have done a video on it. I will post it up on my YouTube. There should be a link either in the description or somewhere on the video so you can have a look at making your own. So I've got my homemade pastry, so I'm going to roll it out down here. If I can get it out of the bowl, that would be nice. There we go. So into a sort of lightly floured surface. You want to roll it so it's about not a centimetre, that's too big, about the size of a pound coin. So I've got some rolling to do here. Okay, so when it's this thick, so about the thickness of a pound coin, you can transfer it to a dish. So this is where it gets tricky and I make an idiot of myself. Just push it to the sides. Whether you're using a sort of pie dish like I am, or a tart tin, doesn't really matter. The good thing about pastry is that if it breaks, can you see there, it's just started to split, you can kind of just press it back together. It's all good. Solved. Okay. Okay, so when you've got all of these sort of trimmings around the outside, you kind of just cut them off. So there we have it. This is your pie case. If you've got some pastry left over like I do, you can either freeze this and use it another day, or you could re-roll it and make a second pie, which I think is what I'm going to do. Okay, so we're now going to bake this for 20 minutes, and we're going to do something called blind baking. You might have heard it on Bake Off or something like that. I'm going to make some teeny tiny incisions in the bottom. People usually do this with a fork, but whatever. Then I'm going to put some baking paper into this, and then fill it with, you can either fill it with sort of lentils, or if you've got some fancy baking beads, but I'm just going to use some loose change because it's all the same to me. Just something to stop it from rising whilst it's in the oven. Thank you! Okay, so I've taken the pastry and the pumpkin out of the oven now. Just have a quick look down here. It should all be sort of nice and soft and gooey. So what I'm going to do now is peel it or spoon it out of the skins, because the skins aren't going to do anyone any favours. So I'm going to do that first, and then we can start making our pie filling. Okay, so now we've peeled it all by hand. It was a messy occurrence, but it had to be done. Put it all in here. I'm going to blend this up until it is basically as smooth as it can be. So I put the blade option on my food processor. You can do this with your regular sort of hand whisk or hand blender, sorry, you know, that you make soups with. That's exactly the same, and that's perfectly fine. I just like to use this because it's in my kitchen and I have it. So I cook this on this tray here, but it's still got all that gorgeous golden syrup on it. So I'm going to grab it and pour all of that lovely golden syrup, cinnamony stuff all in here as well, as to not get rid of any of that lovely flavour. So I've blended the pumpkin to about as smooth as it can be. It might still look a little bit grainy, but that's just because of the texture of the pumpkin. There's not really a lot you can do about it. But once it's been in the food processor, or you've whizzed it so it's as smooth as it can be, then you're ready to transfer it to a bowl. Okay. So I'll take the blade out. Okay, so I'm going to transfer this into a big bowl. Okay, so that's everything all in the bowl now. So now I'm going to add roughly 2 tablespoons of sugar, caster sugar that is. It's about 2. Oh no, this seems to be getting sweeter and sweeter. And 3 eggs that I've whisked. And I'm going to mix them together as best I can. So once that's all mixed in, and it looks like this, can you see what I mean about it being a bit grainy? It's just the texture of the pumpkin, so don't worry about it. I'm going to add about 200 millilitres of double cream. About right. Okay, and then I'm just going to mix that in. Okay, so it's looking quite pale at the minute, almost the same colour as my bowl actually, but it will go darker again once it's been baked. At this point, if you want to, you can add a little more cinnamon and ginger and things like that. But next I'm just going to pop it into the pastry case. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put this bad boy in the oven for about 45 minutes on 180 to 200. I can never tell with my oven exactly what the temperature is, but sort of around 180 for 45 minutes, and it should be ready to eat. Okay, so this is our finished result. I'm a bit tied for time, unprofessional I know, so I can't cut this for you guys, but I wish you could see, it's like super firm now, and oh, it just looks and smells incredible. So before you start cutting it and serving it, you do need to let it cool, which is why I can't cut it for you now. I might do later for a cheeky surprise. But the pastry's golden brown, the inside is so lovely and yellow. Traditionally you see pumpkin pie as being bright orange, but I don't know how, because the inside of a pumpkin is yellow. So I've got this gorgeous yellow colour going on. And oh, I wish I could give you like smellogram, because it smells really, really good. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this has been really helpful and that you give it a go. If you do, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share it, tell all your friends, your nan, your cousin, all of this. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.